All right, you guys, thank you for joining me for this special call that we have going on today. We typically do a call for some of our agents. I think many of you are in the Minnesota market. We do that on the second Wednesday, but we always have a special guest or another call on the fourth Wednesday, which is today, 9:30 Central. We open this up for those across the country because what Jesse Mills is going to be able to talk about with us today is not necessarily just obviously available to those in one state. It really spans the gamut and there's opportunities for a lot of us. And so we did open this up, which is really great because now you are on a call with people not in your own geographical area as well. So as I mentioned at the beginning, go ahead and chat in the chat box where you're from, if there's any specialty or niche that you serve or just anything about you that people might want to know so that we can continue to make connections with great agents, not only local to us, but also across the country. Jesse and I have known each other for many years. We were kind of not necessarily disconnected, but we all know if people change, paths and go on, but we've always been connected on social media. And after we started the Minnesota movement of EXP, we got reconnected as he saw what we were doing, had a great conversation, and it made sense for him to be the first guest on this special fourth Wednesday call because there's just a lot of opportunities I think that he can bring to us. One of the things that we wanted to talk to people about at the beginning of this year is how do we go find more business opportunities this year than we did last year? And so lead generation has been a topic. If you were on our call 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday, we had a guest that came and talked about, Google business profiles, local service ads. The people that have done the things that he's told them to do have gotten a handful more transactions just from their Google profile and those local service ads throughout the year. I think we can all admit we'd love to have another 5 or 10 transactions. So we brought him in to show some things of that nature. But today we wanted to bring Jesse in to talk about how can we dive into our databases that we already have, like Angie Gerber likes to say, our data bank, where we can make money. It's the people who know us, like us, and trust us, but they can't always transact real estate in the way that we need them to in order to be able to serve them as in the traditional sense of real estate sales. But there are other things that we can do. There are other ways that we can service those people and take advantage of what we have in our database. So how do we do that? So Jesse is the creator of the Deal Creator Academy. If you haven't heard of that, he's also the founder of Unbankable. And there's going to be a lot of conversation today about how we can think differently and become more creative. And he's going to share some tangible and tactical strategies, which is what we all want, to help these potential buyers who can't currently purchase a home for a variety of different reasons. And so he's going to go over creative financing options, real estate investment strategies, and just ways to collaborate within your own network of top agents, loan officers, other industry partners. So, there's just going to be a really great conversation. So please, when you have a chance, if you have questions that come up, chat them so we don't forget them and we'll follow that, or write it down so you don't forget it. And at the end, you guys can raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask as many questions as you would like, because I'm sure that's where a lot of the learning happens. So without further ado, Jesse, thanks for being here. We're excited to learn from you.
Carrie, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much. And thank you for putting this together. And guys, let's give it up to Carrie because honestly, like leading and running this, program of having people collaborating and connecting, sometimes it can be lonely, right? In our world of being a real estate agent or an investor, and in this space. And so it's awesome having just a great community of people that are, again, leading and how do we serve each other and help each other. One of the things that we really hit on hard in our Deal Creator Academy is the answer is in the room. And honestly, is in the room. We just got back from an amazing event. We maybe almost ran into Kelly in the Caribbean. We were on a 5-day Caribbean cruise. So we went to the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas and did a 5-night cruise, 6-day cruise with about 30 rock stars from all over the country who want to, they're lenders and agents and investors. And, hey, the answer's in the room, guys. And it was like, you need something, it's here. So we have the community carries building this and creating this, which I love. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to share with you a little bit about what I'm doing and my team is doing. I've got some amazing people here from my team, by the way. I'll kind of kick off with Nicole Murray, who is my rock star executive assistant. licensed agent as well in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And then we have Jennifer Huber from Mississippi, and Victoria Pickrane from Maine, and Amy Brand from Mississippi as well, who are part of our Deal Creator Academy team. Students, partners, and just amazing people doing amazing things. So um, I'm gonna go through, and my goal here is to kind of just blow your minds with possibilities of ways that we can help more people, we can make more money, we can make this business even better for ourselves and our family, show you what we're doing and how we can help with that, and how we can collaborate together. Okay. And I love that this is Zoom. I do webinars as well, and I like that this is live and interactive. So I'm gonna try to get all that kind of talking and information out right away, but this is interactive. So please, questions, ideas, thoughts, comments, put them in the chat. I love it, and we'll be running through. Okay. We're going to definitely show you some good examples of actual case studies of deals that we're doing and how it works. But we'll get into that here shortly. Okay, so what I want to do is let me share my screen. I'm going to toggle back and forth here. All right, so okay, are you seeing my main screen here? Perfect. Love it. Love it. Love it. Always fun to get two monitors. You're sharing, and then you're not sharing. You're looking. You're like, what am I showing here? All right, perfect, guys. So welcome and congratulations. I want to thank you for being here because seriously, you guys are choosing to be here. You're investing in yourself, your future, and your community, and you are literally in the top 2%, honestly, because you're here, right? Because you're choosing to learn more and to grow your skills, and take some time to do that. Most people don't do that. So literally, like, you guys are in the top 2%. Why did you become a realtor, right? Think about that. Why did you become a realtor? Whether you become a realtor, who's here a new agent in the last like 1 to 3 years? Raise your hand if you're a newer agent. Anyone? Can't see everybody. Okay. How about like 5 to 10 years being an agent? Okay. How about 10 plus years? Okay. So we have a lot of veterans. We have the pros here, right? How about 20 years or more? Can't quite see everybody. Yeah, love it, right? So, guys, I mean, sometimes you're so busy doing it. It's like, why did we get into this in the first place? Most of us, right, if you're like me, is for lifestyle freedom, to control our own schedule, right? Make great money. We want to help more people. We want to give back. We want to volunteer. We want to travel and make memories. We want to learn to invest and get financial freedom, right? That's why we got in real estate. Now, do you believe in what you do? Okay. Do you realize that the more people we help, the more good stuff we get, right? Freedom, money, impact, travel. We're in a pretty cool career, honestly, where it's not like we do amazing things like teachers and police and EMTs where they're saving people's lives and barely getting paid for it, which is crazy, right? Horrible thing. Or you're making a crap ton of money doing something that doesn't do any good in the world, right? We get to literally make more money as we help more people and solve their problems, which is pretty cool. Who here believes that, right? Do you guys really believe that? We're helping people, we're solving problems. These are pretty important things in people's lives, right? Who is excited about the future of an agent, of being an agent? Excited? Excited? Yeah? Okay. Who's nervous? Let's be real. We got AI, you got new technology, you got these massive consolidations happening, right? Well, I think you can see right here even, and who's excited and who's nervous, right? A lot of this is what's up here, guys, right? It's what's in between your ears and how you're thinking about things. Okay, but I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, I think you've got two choices. You can be an order taker or you can be a problem solver. Okay, now what's an example of an order taker? Throw out what's kind of an order taker realtor out there? Go
I'll
ahead.
throw, I'll
You
throw
can
that
answer.
out.
Yeah.
I'll answer. Literally doing exactly what your broker says and your team says versus thinking outside the box a little bit.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. What's another example?
I would say when you just do the normal set up a search, open doors, Now that we have to sign the paperwork, but before that, not even having the paperwork signed, just, being that warm body.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just, kind of being that person that is really not that different from everyone else who can just go open doors and run people through and right? That's a little bit of an order taker, okay? Give me an example. What's a problem solver?
Someone who just doesn't give up, right? I mean, you
Mm,
might not have the perfect, easy deal,
right?
but you don't give up and you help people, achieve what they need to achieve and why they need to achieve it.
Love that, Kelly. Yeah, yeah. We find answers. We find solutions, right? It's not just yes or no, black or white, right? And I've made a whole career out of being a problem solver, and I've made a whole career out of trying to not be an order taker and not be a commodity, right? And I think we can all see the writing on the wall as we get into where we're at with business and timing of everything. This is really important that you have this differentiating skill set, right? Order takers will be gone. Problem solvers will thrive. Okay. Now, the cool thing also with being an order taker, or I should not say the not cool thing with being an order taker, right? You're kind of more of a commodity. And so you get kind of commoditized pricing. That's your value. Problem solvers get paid based on the value they bring and the problems they solve. Okay. And when there's fewer problem solvers, you have a higher value. Okay. So that's another pretty important thing. So, all right, folks. So this is an interactive thing. Now, literally, my whole goal whenever I'm hopping on a presentation, whether it's live in front of people, live virtually, but whatever, we're dedicating time. We all have busy lives. We all have a lot going on. And I really want to make this some money for you, whether it's a new idea and concept, whether you're, writing down people that come to mind. But I would love by the end of this, our time together, you go, holy cow, that put how many hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars into my pocket potentially, or it will in the next few days or next week if I take some action. So I want you to write down, guys, three categories: buyers, investors, and lenders. Okay, write this down. And I see Shelly's writing down and in the car. Shelly, you better not be doing 80 miles an hour and like having a coffee and writing like I do. That's no bueno. Are you parked? We good?
Well, someday when I have a Tesla, that can all be possible.
That's what I'm talking about. Or we get that driver, right? Because we delegate, we get the driver going out. I love it. Okay. Now I want you to write down, okay? So we're writing down our buyers, investors, and lenders. We're going to write down what is your average commission amount? And do you know what your average commission amount is? Right? Do you know what your numbers are? If you don't know what your average commission amount is, just try to think of the last 3, 4, 5, 6 deals you closed. Roughly, what is it? But I want you to just jot that number down. Okay? Now, what would finding an extra 1 to 2 deals make you based on your average commission that you just wrote down? What if you did that per year? And somebody throw out a number. What your average commission is if you did an extra, let's say 2 of those per year, what would that be? I mean, 10 grand times 2 is 20, 20 grand,
40,
15, 30, 20,
40.
30,
Yep.
40. Okay. How about per quarter? Be nice, right? How about per month? That'd make a pretty big difference, wouldn't it? Right? Okay. Now, I want you to think, how much do you spend on marketing? Right? Some of you might spend hardly anything because it's all your sphere and it's past clients, it's referrals, it's, organic social media. Some of you might be buying leads. Some of you might be, working with a lender perhaps. And, what are you doing? Direct mail, right? Print, PPC, SEO. I'll write that down. Well, how much would free leads save you per month based on what you think you're spending for marketing if you could get rid of what you're spending on marketing, right? Or maybe even reduce it if you had free leads, and think of what that would save you per month or per quarter or per year. Okay. Now let's revisit real quick why you became a realtor, right? Because what I am going to teach you is going to show you how to help a lot more people. It's going to show you how to grow your business without having to spend a lot more money on marketing. It's literally just talking to more people and you get leads coming to you. Now you're going to them, but they're coming to you. And you can help them get more of what they want. And so you can get more of what you want by helping them at the same time, right? Which again, I think most of us, we didn't get into it to, work 50, 60, 70 hours a week and nights and weekends. And right, we got into it for time and for freedom and for extra money and for vacations and to create an impact and for cash flow and maybe financial freedom, right? We didn't do it just to kind of have another really high paying job. We got into it because we know what real estate can do and create financial freedom for us, right? If we start acquiring assets. So this is important, guys. I want you to think, where do you fit into this? Okay, because all of you will fit into one of these three buckets, if you will. Okay, now you might be in two of these categories, but I want you to think, number one, are you someone who just, I love being an agent, right? I want to keep being an amazing rock star agent. And hey, I want to, get more leads without having to spend more money or any more marketing dollars. And I want to just refer to us, to Unbankable, right? My turn downs, my buyers that can't buy, or my hungry investors. If you have investors looking for deals, we can help you, and we can help you, we can help them, and we all win together. Okay. But you just want to keep on being a rock star agent, just killing it and growing your business. Cool. That's great. Okay. Now you might be number two where you say, hey, you know what? I'd like to kind of have multiple streams of income with my business. I'd like to have like a whole nother side of my business where I'm, being a little bit more of a niche. And God, I'd kind of like to learn how to do what your Unbankable business is in my market, right? Where I have people coming to me instead of me going to them, and I'm making more than the average commission by doing this business and helping people. Okay, if you want to learn how to do this, we teach you how to do this, and we can show you how to kind of be the Unbankable folks in your marketplace, okay? And how to collaborate and work with us. Number three is I want to start or scale a real estate investing business so I can have both lifestyle and financial freedom, right? Because again, most of us got into real estate because we actually want financial freedom, which is owning real estate, which is getting cash flow and having people pay our debt down for us and having our assets grow, right? And so if that's you, whether you're wanting to get into investing or you already are, but you want to grow and scale, right? Then we'd love to know that. So write down a 1, 2, or 3. All right, now I'm just going to tell you guys right now kind of at the beginning, and I'll tell you again here at the end, but we do have a free gift for you, all right? Especially for those of you that stay till the end here. And if you text us your full name, email address, and then which number are you, just so we know how we can help you best. Are you a 1, are you a 2, or are you a 3, right? Or maybe you're a 1 and a 3, maybe you're a 2 and a 3, right? But text us that, and then what we're going to give you guys is we have some really cool things. I'll show you this here in a sec. But we have literally word for word email scripts that we can share with you, copy and paste, send out. We have proven phone scripts that you can pick up, right? This is free. We have high converting social media templates, and we have an amazing spreadsheet that you can put these leads in, and you can start coming up with ideas of who to talk to, right? Again, I want you making money like ASAP. I want this to be something you're like, holy cow, that, hour of my time, whatever, made me $10,000 potentially from the action I took from it, okay? So if you text us at that line, that's our business line, name, email address, and which number you are, and then we'll get that stuff to you, okay? All right, so who knows someone here who's had a bankruptcy? How about a foreclosure? How about medical issues or debt? How about not so good credit? Okay, every hand is up, I think, right? These are the likely suspects, right? These are the likely suspects. But what about someone who's self-employed? Hello, everybody here? Who's a new business owner? How about someone who is divorced or going through a divorce? How about someone who is a new investor? Maybe somebody who wants to refinance, but they can't. How about somebody who just missed maybe a payment or two? They might still have good credit. They might make a bunch of money. They just missed a payment or two. Life happens. These are all people that we tell no to all the time. The normal people tell no to that we might be able to help, okay? Now, guys, nobody wants to be average, right? Again, you're here. You chose to be here and take time out of your schedule to learn and to grow. You guys don't want to be average. I don't want to be average. But the average realtor in 2024 at least made about $56,000. What if I told you there's a way to make 2 to 3 times that just from buyers that can't qualify for traditional financing? and no one's going after them, right? You can make literally more than the average agent made just doing that, okay? So let's dream for a minute. With an average national purchase price of 400,000, our average income ranges from 10,000 to 25,000 per deal. Now that's what we're making having an unbankable business is 10K to 25K per deal, okay? Now for you, you could make that too, or you could say, hey, what's just a full commission, right? What's my average commission I get, right? Well, what if you were able to help just 5 people and make an additional 50 grand a year or 100 grand, right? How much would that impact your life? And what if you didn't have to spend $1 to get it?
Sure.
Right? And what if you have opportunities that came to you instead of you having to chase them? Right? So guys, our results, I've closed hundreds and hundreds of deals in 10 plus years doing this personally myself. I've created a laptop lifestyle where we don't have to be in an office or answer to the man. I've helped hundreds of agents and students add tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars to their annual revenue. I've enabled hundreds of families to get home ownership. I'm nationally recognized as a lease to own and seller financing expert and a premier real estate coach on creative financing for investors and agents, right? This is the fun stuff I love to do. So kind of who is our presentation for today, guys, right? It's really successful agents who want to grow. It's for someone willing to think outside the box. It's for anyone who wants to start investing in real estate or grow your current portfolio faster, and you want to help people and you want to make great money. It's also for folks who got into real estate because you got into it for time freedom and flexibility, right? And it's for agents who are sick and tired of feeling like a commodity. Okay, who this presentation is not for, it's not for someone who's seeking like overnight millions, right? Requires work. Anyone who's closed-minded or just plain lazy, we're probably not going to get along very well. Someone who hates talking to people, because this is talking to people. It's just relationships, right? And it's for folks who are content with their place in life. I want to show you different ways and paths that you can create a lot more income, help a lot more people, and a different place for you and your business, right? And it's certainly not for agents with lack of morals or integrity. We are really, working with people who are in some tricky spots in life and have been through a lot, and we want to help them, okay? So quick disclaimer, I'm here to support you and be your guide, but I'm not here giving you legal advice or tax advice, right? Obviously consult your CPAs and attorneys for that and broker. There's no guarantee that this will work for you, but I'll tell you all of our results and what we're doing. And obviously consult your own local broker and attorneys and CPAs for specific situations, state laws, company rules, etc. Okay. And then laws and even terminology are different in each state. So, we might call it a contract for deed in Minnesota. You might call it a land contract in Texas, right? Similar thing. Okay. So, I think a lot of you here, some of you, I don't know if I've met before, but just real quick, I like to know, hey, who am I listening to here? What's this person's experience and background? I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. Got my first job at 14 in a mall. Did that for a year. Hated that. Went door to door with 100 flyers. I'll mow your lawn for $20 an hour, and did that. And I'm like, okay, I like working for myself. I like having no ceiling on my income. Went to college. I dropped out after about 4.5, 5 years. Studied abroad a couple different times. I've been to 37 countries. I love to travel, which somehow led me to the mortgage business. Got in the mortgage business. Things were fantastic until they weren't. I went through the crash of '08. Who here was doing real estate in '08? Raise your hand if you were here in '08. Yeah, good stuff, right? Things were awesome, and then they weren't awesome. I went through a bankruptcy. I went through my first short sale on my own house. That was brand new and awesome 2 years before that. I realized, holy cow, things can change quickly. Things can, your bills might stay the same, but your income can change, fast. And there's things in your control, and there's things that are not in your control, right? Now, how do I get my virtual hand down? I don't know how to do that. AI, bring my hand down. I don't know. That's right. It'll go down eventually. I had to start all over, guys. I had to start all over. I was basically flat broke, bankrupt, right? I had to go live with my new girlfriend at the time and say, hey, you know what? Things were going great, and we gotta learn. Well, here's what I started doing. I started really investing in myself. I started doing a lot of podcasts, YouTube, reading books, going through courses. I learned about lease options, and I learned how do we buy houses without good credit or without a lot of money? Because that was me. I didn't have good credit. I didn't have a lot of money, right? So I started learning about lease to own and seller financing and contract for deed. And I got back into mortgages after a few years, okay? And things were good, but I know that they could be better. And I also got my real estate license, so I was an agent, right? And I was a lender. But as a lender, guys, I really felt like a commodity. I was competing against everyone. I felt like stuck in a box. And I wanted to make more money. I wanted to have a position of authority. I didn't want to, have clients that I couldn't help because it bothered me when I couldn't help somebody. I'm like, well, I think you're a good risk, but I'm not the decision maker. I'm not the underwriter, right? And so when I would turn people down, number one, I wasn't getting paid because you're paid on all commission, and they left meetings unhappy, and I wasted my time and they wasted their time, and no one got paid, and it really sucked, and I didn't like that. And so I started, thinking, how can I help more people, and how can I make more money, and just doing it differently, right? So you ever heard the phrase, if you want better answers, you ask better questions, right? So I did that. I started asking better questions, and I said, well, what if we have buyers who can't buy right now, but they could still pick out the house that they want? What if we could reverse engineer the math so an investor, which I wanted to become, right? And I never was, and I should have done that way earlier. But what if an investor could get a sweet deal helping someone else get a house? And what if we could even charge a fee to an investor for creating a deal on a silver platter for them, where the buyer gets the house and an investor still wins? And what if we compensated people for referrals so they kept sending us more people to help, right? So it was like a win-win-win, okay? And then it hit me. There are millions of buyers out there that can't buy, right? And many of them have money to put down and they can afford normal rental prices, but they'd rather own, right? Just like me at the time. They just need more time to make changes to get some traditional financing, right? And there are countless investors out there that are looking for steady cash flow, and they're looking for just good tenants. Well, why chase all the same leads everyone else is chasing when we can have others send us their junk leads or their turndowns, and then we can turn them into wins for everybody? And again, having been, a licensed agent and having been a licensed loan officer, I knew kind of both legs of the business, right? And so I said, okay, well, what if we did something like this? Now, this is the simplest analogy, and I usually do coffee or I do a bar. Depends on where I'm talking, okay? So we had this, on the cruise, at the bar, and then in the morning we're at the coffee shop. Well, if let's say Nicole and I are walking in a Starbucks, and Nicole says, God, you know what? Oh, it's a chilly morning. I would really love a coffee, but I left my purse at home and I don't have any money on me. I got like $2 on me, but I don't have any money. And I said, hey, Nicole, you know what? I got you. But hey, let's have a little fun with this, right? We're both, business owners. Let's have some fun. I'll tell you what, if you promise to pay me $7 for that coffee and you give me $2 right now, I'll go get your coffee. And you can pick out whatever you want on the menu. Anything. Tea, chai, mocha, whatever. Because I know that my price is $5 and you're going to give me $7. And you're going to give me $2 of that $7 right now as some, initial skin in the game. And then you'll pay me the rest, maybe tomorrow. And Nicole's like, hey, you know what? I know I'm paying extra for it, but I really want to drink right now. And my other option is not get a drink. So she says, yeah, I'm cool with that. Well, guys, would you go buy people coffees if they're going to give you $7 for a $5 coffee and you're going to get $2 of that $5 right now? All day, every day, right? And so this is kind of how our system works. We have buyers that can't buy. We call them tenant buyers. We match them up with an investor in our system and one of our partners. These could be, this is us, this is investors we work with, this could potentially be you, this could be your client, okay? It's just an amazing system. The tenant buyer picks out the home. We then create the deal as a deal creator with our magic spreadsheet, which is our tool where we make it be a win-win-win for everybody, and then we close on the house. That's it, okay? Now, so this whole system is great because we're saving pending deals that are unable to close due to financing. So think of a blow-up deal, right? Raise your hand if you've ever had a deal not close, not get to the finish line. You're like, oh, that's fun. Cool. Sorry, honey. I guess I'm not paying the mortgage this month or not with that closing. I sure hope the other ones turn out. My paycheck's gone, right? Well, we can save those. Okay. We can also help buyers who get turned down by traditional lenders. We let the buyer choose whatever home they want off the MLS, right? These tenant buyers then entice our network of investors that want to go buy the home for them. And then you, as the realtor, right, get to keep your hard-earned commission. And then the bonus is, hey, you could even be an investor in our program, in our system yourself, okay? One of the things I love about this, and we talked about this a lot on our Freedom Forum at Sea cruise we did, But guys, this is a blue ocean strategy. And I don't know who's heard about the blue ocean. Where's my book? I don't have it right next to me. Usually do. But guys, a blue ocean, right? Everyone else in real estate is kind of in a red, bloody ocean, right? It's red and bloody. Everyone's just trying to be the cheapest or the most expensive, right? You get your Ford or you get your Ferrari, right? It's bloody. Everyone's doing the same thing. Well, what if you could just swim over to where there's no blood in the water, where it's a blue ocean, where you make the market, you set the pricing because you're not trying to compete against everybody else, right? That's what this is. And so I realized that, guys, this is a whole new world. And this is the world of creative financing, okay? This is a world of lease options and contract for deeds and land contracts, okay? Who here has done a lease to own before in any capacity? Okay, and I'm seeing if I can scroll. Okay, who here has done a contract for deed or a land contract? Okay. So real quick, right? And guys, I could do a whole day training on this and be happy to, but a lease option is simply a lease agreement and then an option to buy in the future. Two separate agreements. It could be one, sometimes it's two, but it's a lease and it's an option to purchase, okay? A seller or an investor retains the deed, they pay taxes, and they take depreciation. The buyer, we call them a tenant buyer because they're a tenant and a buyer, they pay an option fee for the right and privilege of buying the property at a later date and time at a predetermined price. So in my very simple coffee analogy, right, you can buy this coffee for $7 and you have 2 days to buy it, okay? Well, we're saying it's a house and it's $440,000 and you have until, January 31st of 2026 or 7, right? They simply have a lease to occupy the home and they can qualify to get a loan from the bank in the future. When they get financing in the future, they take full ownership, okay? That's a lease and an option. Now, a contract for deed or a land contract, this is like buying a home through a bank with a mortgage, except for the buyer has a contract for deed directly with the seller. The buyer pays a down payment, has an interest rate, and they pay property taxes and insurance on the home. They are fully responsible for the home and all the repairs. Okay, the seller basically plays the bank, and they, when the buyer goes to get the loan in the future, they refinance. So they're not buying it; they're refinancing it, right? And they get full ownership at that time. Okay, so guys, my goals for you are to make more money with leads that you already have in your hands, and you can help more clients. You can increase your value and become a better resource. You guys can start doing a blue ocean strategy, not chasing the same leads everyone else is. You can make money on deals you're probably throwing away right now and learn how to do more deals more often and spend less on marketing, okay? And again, you don't know what you don't know. So why us? Well, we have a background in doing this for a very long time. We've helped a lot of people do this, an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, okay? And we want this to work out. We don't want people's houses. We don't want their money, down. We want this to work. And they go, oh my God, I'm so glad Kelly referred me to Unbankable because I got my house that I wanted. I'm so glad that Angie sent us to the people that got this done. And holy cow, like you guys, your elevation and your reputation goes up because you're the problem solver, right? And we've seen everything, guys, and done a lot of deals. Now, one thing that's super fun is we can show you how to get paid just for finding puzzle pieces. So one puzzle piece might be a buyer who can't buy. One puzzle piece can be an investor who is looking for cash flow in real estate. And they're just not buying anything. If they're not buying anything, you're not getting paid anything. Okay? So we have an awesome program. We're helping people all over the country learn how to do this. Again, just throw us your referrals and we can help you, or you can kind of learn how to do this. Okay? And that is how we have these awesome rock stars with us from Mississippi and Maine, right? Amy and Jennifer and Victoria, who said, oh my God, right? I'm a lender, I'm an agent, I'm a broker, and what you're doing is awesome. I don't know if anyone's doing this at all in my market. How do we start doing this? How do we become the go-to people to save the day and help people more? And they've been doing an amazing job ever since. And do you want to jump in for a quick moment and say hello, ladies, and just kind of what you're doing fast, and we'll kind of get back to this.
Sure. Hey, it's an honor to be here. Yes, we heard something like this from Jesse going about a year and a half ago, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, I am not a real estate agent, although I own a brokerage. Jennifer is my business partner. She is a real estate agent. I've been a lender, and so we come together and go, wow." This right here would make a huge difference in our business model. We are also real estate investors. And so it just made sense. And if you talk to us, we really love to be able to help people and to make a difference. And so as impact investors, we have a buyer who cannot buy, a buyer who can, and someone that wants to invest in real estate that doesn't have to find the property, rehab the property, analyze the property, or do anything. And as real estate professionals, we get to be a part of that and make a huge difference. And we get to have, as you can see, a lot of fun doing it. So we get to create a different type of life than just the standard transactions. And so for Jennifer, and I'll let her share, her part is really important that whenever we have real estate professionals that we help to grow, they don't always invest in themselves and build wealth for themselves. So this is a part you can take one little piece or you can stack it all together, but you're really able to create a life and build wealth for yourself while you're helping other people. And so Jennifer, anything to add to that?
Thanks, Amy. I appreciate it. And Jesse, yeah, so this really added a multiple layers to our business and our ecosystem. And like Amy said, gave us the opportunity to serve families that maybe were underserved in multiple ways, as well as realtors looking for, you always have your core product, which is real estate. What are the add-on components or income stacking that you can do with that when traditional banks or things don't work? Investing in yourself, so becoming the hybrid investor, helping your clients do an unbankable deal, which means you're getting paid, obviously, as the realtor to get that deal closed, sending one over, referring things to us. And also, as a realtor, we have ways for you to get paid as the lender and for business purpose loans as well. So when your clients are ready to move into a traditional loan, you can get paid on that. And you can get paid for the DSCR on the lending side for business purpose. So that's what we call income stacking.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it. And right. And so how do we help more people at the same time with what we already have and the business already in our lap? And how do we make it more profitable for us, right? At the same time, right? And so, we say win, win, win a lot, but literally and when we do these deals, guys, it's like 5 wins, right? Because you're getting your commission saved. An investor is getting a cash flowing, deal that's helping them and their family. The buyer gets the house. The lender gets a loan in the future, right? And we get to just, get a little bit from helping everybody get what they want, right? But there's a massive opportunity, guys. And, right now, and these are some actually older numbers. We have anywhere between 3 and 6 out of 10 buyers can't qualify for financing, right? And we have a lot of pending transactions that cancel. So like in the Twin Cities, for example, there's over 2,600 per year that fall apart. Well, what if you could step in and say, oh, I can help, or even a percentage of 2,600, and you could get a full commission on those, right? That's huge. And no one is really contacting these buyers, so there's basically no competition, So these are, they kind of say the riches are in the niches. All right, so there's lots of buyers out there, and a lot of these guys, these are people that are in your CRM, they're in your phone, right? They're in your lender's CRM, they're in your colleague's phone, they're in your computer, okay? So who we can help, this is who I want you to think about. Low credit, no credit, new job, new business, or less than 2 years. Taxes show little to no income. You could have a 750 credit score and make 500 grand a year and you write everything off and you can't get a loan. I've helped those people, right? Bankruptcy or foreclosure, divorce, medical issues. You missed a payment or two, okay? Part-time income and you can't count it because you haven't had it for 2 years. Here's what we're looking for. We're looking for 10 to 20% down payments. So they do need to have some skin in the game, okay? No minimum credit score, but they do need to have some skin in the game. We don't really care as much where it comes from and how they get it. We just want to make sure they have 10% down or more, reasonable income that we can, prove. Again, flexible on that, but we need to show that have income and the ability to get traditional financing within a few years by fixing the items that are currently stopping them, okay? That's what we're looking for. That's it. When people say, who do you help? That's it. It's very simple, okay? Now, I've got a bunch of different case studies that I could go through, and we are not going to have time to go through everything. But these are different homes where like a lead came, right? And the cost to me was free. It was a free lead. And when I did the deal, I actually made $10,500 on this unbankable deal. The agent that brought it to me made their normal $7,700. Okay. And it was a deal that fell apart, mid-transaction. Okay, this one was the same thing. The realtor that was involved in this one made 10,000. Now, actually, I made 17,500 saving a deal. The agent made 10, which is the same money they would have made if they could have had a buyer that buyed. Again, free lead came to me. I didn't spend money on it, and I didn't have to go chase it. Okay. So we have a lot of self-employed folks, divorced folks, people who have been through some job transitions, right? But again, people think a lot, right? Rent to own and owner financing. It must be really crappy credit and, people that don't make a lot of money and don't have money. And this house, guys, this is $800,000 beautiful executive home, Eden Prairie. Okay. This came from a self-employed tenant buyer. By the way, the buyer in this house, guys, is making 35,000 a month with their job, but they missed a payment on a new card and it took their score down like 100 points. Now, here's the crazy thing. Crazy thing is they still qualified for FHA, but they didn't qualify for a loan that was above FHA loan limits, which is this house here. They wanted this house, not any house. They wanted this house. So we were able to help them get this house. Guys, we made $45,600 on this deal. That came to us for free at a networking meeting, okay? There's real power in these opportunities, okay? Now, I want you to think real quick about on the investment side, okay? Because this deal we bought for $330,000. We sold it same day, an hour later for $360,000. But the investor on this deal only had to put down $10,000 down for this investment property. That was their net down payment. Why? Because our tenant buyer had $72,000 to put down up front. And so they got a cash flowing, real estate deal with a 52% cash on cash and a 78% ROI, helping somebody get the home that they wanted and needed to move to, which is pretty incredible. Okay. These two deals are kind of fun that the girls can share with you, right? This was a couple of the deals they did after learning the program and jumping in. And you want to share with us real quick? And Carrie, when do you want us to start wrapping up here, by the way?
I'm muted. Whenever you're ready to, ask for questions is good for me, but I love hearing about these case studies. So I would say, another a few minutes and then we can just open it up for questions whenever you're ready.
Perfect.
This one's a unicorn. So listen to unicorns. This this tenant buyer was moving job locations and the loan officer called us. There was something that happened just prior to their closing. They had sold a house. They were buying a house in a new location, 740 credit score, $100,000 to put down. So the lender was doing a final before they got ready to close. Something popped up, which another realtor had told them incorrectly not to make a payment on. So they came to us and said, can you save this deal? So we said, sure. The original purchase contract was at $379,900 or $380,000. We had a conversation with the realtor in Texas and said, hey, is this going to appraise? Is it going to go? She's like, yep, it's going to appraise over 4. We're like, great. Bump the purchase price to $400,000, $399,900. We want $20,000 in closing costs back. It's very expensive to close in Texas if you haven't done that, especially when you need wind and hail. So the investor had to come in with $80,000 down on a DSCR loan, which is 20%. The tenant buyer needed to move in immediately and was willing to put down $100,000. So the investor got paid $20,000 on day one to buy that house for them. The mortgage is like 27 something. The rent on that property is $38.50. So the investor makes $20,000 on day one. The investor then makes $871 monthly in cash flow. And the purchase price when they purchase it in the next 1 to 3 years went from $400,000 to $440,000. So they get a $40,000 bump at the end. So
one thing I was going to say, the one thing that really stands out to me, and I just want to really zone in, is you had 2 real estate agents. One had the listing and one had the buyer. And they literally just got the phone call from the lender that said, sorry, we can't do it. And so then they both real estate agents closed with 100% of their commission. So the listing agent won, the buyer's agent won, everyone walked away happy. The buyer's a win, the investor's a win, the agent is a win. And here we go to do it over and over again.
Yeah.
Because you've already done all the work.
Yeah.
You went through the whole process. Even
Yeah.
the title company is like, damn, we did all this work and they can't get paid either. Well, there's a way to save all these.
Yeah. Yeah. This is another one that they did. I mean, look at this cash flow, 758 a month, 24% cash on cash. And again, you got multiple agents, saved a deal, saved a commission, got it done, buyer got the house, and literally just it worked out for everybody with this, right?
And
So
Jesse, I just want to add one
Investors,
little thing on
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
That one came from what we call free 99. It literally was some marketing that we did, didn't cost us a thing. The buyer came in, we answered the call, we delivered that to an agent in their area with a referral.
Hmm.
And we were able to kind of walk through, and they're getting ready to be able to come back and do the loan again. They're coming full circle. And so, anyway, I just wanted to point that out that this
Yeah.
one was literally just a lead that came from some free marketing that we did. Multiple
yeah. And I
steps.
would also say if you look at these returns for the investors, I don't know any market, if you're buying stocks and bonds or gold or whatever, your
Yeah.
return is really incredible at 35%. So if you have investors that
Mhm.
are doctors or pilots or anybody that's super busy and doesn't want to have to find the property, like Amy said, rehab the property, find the tenant, do all the stuff. It's done for you, right? You're
Yeah.
just handing it to them and saying, here's your rent, here's what the purchase price is going to be, here's everything you're making before they sign a contract. So it's great. There's no tenants, toilets, and trash with these deals for your investors.
Correct. Yeah. And I want to just show you, one thing that makes it really different, guys, is they get to pick out whatever home they want off the MLS. It's not like go to my website and look at 10 houses and pick one of these houses you don't want, right? There's not a lot of people do what we do, but that's different. We work with title companies and attorneys and lenders, right? And we want to make sure that we're taking care of them and that this goes full circle. The last little part, and we're not going to be able to show you everything, guys. We're just not. But what if you could use creative financing and lease to owns and contract for deeds, even if you don't need to, for growing your investment portfolio, right? So I'm a bankable guy. I can go to multiple banks right now and get a mortgage tomorrow. But this is how I bought a lot of my portfolio, right? And this is how I got, 7, 8 different Airbnbs, all on seller financing, creative financing, furnishings there, $8,000 down on this one. This was 12 grand down. That's it, right? This one I got for zero money down, zero. I came in and got this $330,000 property that's now worth about 750, and I actually got paid a commission on it. So it's really some really kind of fun, creative things that we go through as well. This was a sub two lease option, BRRRR deal, like crazy stuff. And so there's so many different ways you can use creative financing as well, not just for other buyers, but even yourself. And even if you can go to the bank and you can get that done, right? So there's a lot of opportunities here as well, guys. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this real quick and let me show you here, guys. This is our website, and then we're going to do some Q&As. Okay. So unbankable.homes is our website. But if you haven't texted us yet, text us at the number at 612-800-8593. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give you our Deal Rescue Lead Tracker. And this is an awesome way to put together agents, lenders, investors, tenant buyers, even sellers, and how to track all these people and jog your memory. Who's in your phone? Who are the top 10 people you know? Who's in your family, right? Who are you connected to on social media? Fill this up, right? And connect with them. And we can show you then. And then what do I say to them? Well, we have a playbook for you. We have a playbook with email templates and with, for lenders, for agents, things that you can copy and paste and put. We have phone scripts. And we also have some social media posts, literally copy and paste, okay, and get that out there. And in the next couple of weeks, we are doing an 8-week program. If anyone does want to learn this more, to really dive into it. How do I like make this a thing? How do I go find buyers that can't buy, find investors that want deals? How do I become an investor myself? We have a whole 8-week program where we're going to go through and have 3 calls a week live, and you can bring your people and we can put deals together and do it also. A lot of resources if you find that this resonates with you and how to do it. Carrie's like, we gotta go, but oh, Carrie, we could go all day. We could go all day. What questions do you have
This
that we
is
can answer
good.
for you right
Yes, you
now?
guys unmute, ask questions. Angie Gerber is going to wrap up the call for me as well, because I made her host because I have a hard stop at 10:30, but you guys keep going. This is open for you guys, and Angie has some time. So I'm excited to
Thank
hear
you.
the questions and let Jesse answer those for you guys.
Thank you, Carrie. And
Hey,
thank
quick
you, Angie.
question,
Yeah.
Jesse. So sounds like obviously you've got the investor buys the house,
Mhm.
the wanted to be the buyer but couldn't, gets to move in. They have that future deal of I can buy this from you. What are the
Mhm.
default numbers? Like, have you got information on that, like where they couldn't end up buying it and the investor is now having to find a new tenant?
Yeah, great question, Kelly. And that's, usually one of the first ones, right, that you want to ask and should ask. So, I started doing this in 2011, and really did it this way, this system, really 2014, 2015 till now. Okay, hundreds and hundreds of deals. We have about an 85% success rate, so about 15% failure rate. And when I say failure, honestly, for the investor, it usually works out fine. It's more of the tenant buyers either choosing to walk away from the home, right? And they forfeit their money down. That's again, right? Would you rather get 1 month's rent back as a security deposit or 30 or 40 or 50,000, right? But they choose to walk away. We've extended it, many times. Do we add another year, add another 2 years? But yeah, only about a 15%. And for the investor, again, too, like think if you're a landlord, you don't get a tenant for 50 years, right? You might get them for a year, 2, 3, 5. You're always going to have turnover. So with this, it's like, okay, well, if you need another year, let's go. As long as you're paying on time and taking care of the property, we have no issues extending, 9 times out of 10 to get that done because we want them to buy it and we want it to work out. Good question. Who else has questions?
Can I just add one thing for Kelly's question real quick?
Please. Mm-hmm.
I would say too, sometimes the investors, we are willing to work with them in that event. So the big thing is it's a
Mm-hmm.
win-win. We really set our buyers and our investors up for full success. And so sometimes it does work that they need to make an extension or some variations, but also we just have one of our investors who did not even know really what sheetrock was. He didn't know real estate. He didn't know investing. He's on his 15th property, cash flowing property with a bump on the end. He did have on one of the 15, and he just partnered with a local real estate agent that knew what they were doing, and he did a little bit of renovation and he put it on the market, and his net was 100,000.
Yeah. So on a deal that didn't work out, that he got back, and it worked out very well for him on the backside. Now again, can't ever guarantee that, and you don't know
And
what's
I
going to
will
happen, but
say that he tried many times with the help of our team to make that work because the goal is to stay in the house and to be able to do that because it is a win-win for the buyer. But if and when it's not, he has a team of people that could help him navigate through that it still is a win.
yeah.
So just a follow-up question, and I'm sorry, I don't want to monopolize conversation here, but let's say you're an investor who doesn't necessarily want to deal with tenants. I mean, I've owned rentals. I finally just sold the last one. I kind of want to be more I'm in the capital group and you do the work
Mhm.
and I just look for my returns. Are there options for that type of investor?
100%. Yes. Yep. 100%. Yep. There's a couple, it's like 3 ways I can think of, right? So this is how my brain works. I'm like, wait, there's like at least 3 different ways right on the top of my head, Kelly, that you could do that where you're not involved with anything. They're not calling you. They're not bothering you. Your money is just working for you. Yeah. Yep. 100%. Good question. Who else? Did anyone start thinking of some potential people that came to you as we were going through this? Yeah? How much time do you think it would take out of your schedule to call, I don't know, 5 loan officers that you work with on a regular basis, 10, and just say, hey, do you have anyone that you had to deny in the last, say, 6 months that might have, a little bit of money to put down that wants a home? That call right there could yield you 10, 15, $20,000 or more, right? Or double or triple that, depending on what they have, and depending on how many people you call, right? It's a phone call. It's a lunch. It's coffee, right? But your lenders have these people and they don't know what to do with them. And we can help them. Thank you, Mitzi. Any other questions, guys?
This is great. Yeah.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you will think of more stuff, I
Yeah.
guarantee you, because your brain goes, wait a minute, hold on. What about this? What about this? What about this? Like I've seen it many, 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 many times. So
I was just gonna say, what's the best way to get a hold of you if something pops up, or we're in the middle of, like, I
Mhm.
thought of one last spring where 3 weeks past close and we finally had to let it go. So like,
Mm.
we're in the minute, especially in the heat of the moment, what's the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, honestly, great question, Angie. I would say the number that we posted, 612 800 8593. Nicole, can you maybe post it one more time down there? 612 800 8593, or on bankable.homes. Now, our website too, and if I can just share this with you real quick, we have on our website, right? This is kind of made, mainly for buyers, right? But it's also for our lending partners. But there'll be a little pop-up and you can fill that out. But up here, there's FAQs, and we have FAQs for buyers and FAQs for realtors and loan officers. And if you go to the FAQs for realtors and loan officers, we actually have a whole bunch of more information that we can share with you. And there's even videos on it as well, right? So maybe if you're a video person, I like to watch the video, I explain it, or we can just type it out. But we have this and for our tenant buyers. So you can see there where this pops up, you would put your client's first name, last name, phone, and email in here. You're putting their information in. You are then sharing, if like, hey, they're better on phone, they're, usually good in the morning or good in the evening. How do they like to communicate? If you know that, how did you hear about us? Right? Well, referred from a realtor. You click that, and then, right, Angie Gerber sending over, right? And so we'll see that's from you. We'll see it's from the person, or all about your client. Now, the other thing, how we like to work with you on this, so we have agents who are like, hey, I really want to be on a call, or I want to be on the Zoom with you. I want to know everything that's going on. That's great. That's awesome. We're happy to do that. We're not taking your client. That's the last thing we're doing. We're not taking anybody from anybody. We only get business all from referrals, and so you win and you get paid, right? But we want to know what came from you. We have other agents who are just like, hey, give the Johnsons a call, and if you can make it work, awesome. Keep me posted. That's it. Like hot potato off my plate. And others are like, I want to be a part of everything. So as the agents, if you're referring us someone and it's your buyer, okay, if it's your buyer, you would then go still open doors, show them the properties. Here's a cool thing. You have less work to actually do though, because we write the offers. So we're writing the offer for our investor partners, and we're doing that part. Now it's kind of all a tag team of negotiation. Like, hey, what do we want to offer? Let's go through the inspection together, right? We want to get an inspection done. Um, but yeah, I mean, you're actually kind of doing less work, frankly, and you're getting paid 100% full commission when it's your buyer that you're referring over to us as an agent.
Can I just add one little thing to that, Jesse, too?
Yeah, yep.
So for us, we were thinking about what buyers that we had like in our database, what was coming to us, and we did all of that, which was awesome. And then as we started learning and understanding, we're like, wait a minute, what could we do to like bring these buyers to us? Because as you were talking about the blue ocean, so there were certain things that we started implementing in our business So we started attracting buyers, and I would say 80% of those buyers, y'all, were buyers that are bankable. So our real estate business started growing because we started to be in the person that was the problem solver. But we had regular deals coming to us, but when we couldn't meet those deals, then we had another solution. So I just want to say, yes, it is about what you already have, but if you were intentional about being able to attract them, then everything rises, right? And you're able to help more people.
Exactly. Yeah, great point. Great point. Kelly, yes.
Okay, question about we're talking about buyers, obviously buying and helping the investors. What about sellers? Is there a division of
Hmm.
bankable that, I've got a seller, here's an exact situation. They purchased their home, they have not been able to sell their home. They would, they're desperate. They want to sell this house. So anything that you guys do on that end?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have multiple options to buy properties as well because we are investors as well. We can buy with all cash when needed. Just FYI, I mean, literally, I think I helped a guy last week get a house in like 5 days, 6 days, like all cash. Now, when it warrants it, obviously, right? This was an investment property. We got it below the full market price because it needed a lot of work. That's one way. That's not the only way, but that's one way. We can also come in and yeah, we have multiple ways we can purchase and say, look, we can help you with this little problem, and then we can help you over here, and it's not a big deal. So yeah, definitely we can work with that. The other thing too is, and I didn't hit on this yet, so here's something crazy, okay? What if you have a listing? And what if on that listing you said willing to do contract for deed or lease to own on it? And you're like, well, but Jesse, hold on. No, no. Bill and Susie, they don't want to do that. Bill and Susie want to move and move on. No, I get that. Bill and Susie don't have to be the one doing the lease to own or the contract for deed because I've got a guy, or I'll come in and I will buy it from Bill and Susie. And then now I'm in the middle, and then I will work with the person you found. Well, if you're fishing and you're fishing in the fishing hole where everyone is a qualified buyer, you got all these other fish over here in the other fishing hole that you're not even talking to. So what if you could be throwing, right, some hooks over there, and now you get somebody to say, "Oh, this is me. Like I need something like this," and now they get that house. So we've had people move listings just from that kind of marketing, right? And you can share it at an open house. And we actually have a new open house program that we're going to be just kind of rolling out, which would be kind of fun to share this kind of stuff with people too, with some good material and graphics and videos and some fun stuff. Yeah,
Amazing. Thank you.
yeah,
Wow, such great information. I can't wait to watch this again and pick up, it's a lot and it's amazing. And I appreciate so much your time and
thank you,
your
Angie.
team and all the energy you guys brought in. Great, amazing information. And I think,
Thank
I
you.
mean, even as much as it is, just if there's any questions, just reach out because you
Please.
know so much more. And like you said, that brings up like three different ways off the top of your head. You're thinking of something that can be done. So I would say if you're running into any type of speed bumps or walls, reach out to Jesse. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Angie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and, and we like to remind people too, like, you don't need to remember all the stuff. You don't need to know the answers. Just say, hey, you know what? I think these people might be able to help. Talk to them. It's free. There's no obligation, right? And so, too, I mean, we have people that come to us and like, hey, I really need unbankable. My credit's crap. Like, okay, talk to us. How's your credit? Oh, it's a 665. Okay, you're good to go, man. You can get financing all day long. If you can get financing, we're not going to have them run through our program. So we're going to tell them the best thing for them. We're going to tell them all of their options so they can make an educated decision on what makes the most sense for them. So, and you could do A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, whatever you want to do. But again, you as an agent, just, you're always kept in the loop. You're always involved, and, you're kind of the hero. We're just kind of behind the scenes, and we can come in and save the day, whether it's a blow up deal or they're looking in the next month or next few months. Doesn't matter. We work with investors too. That's another little thing unique about us. So I've helped investors buy Airbnbs this way. I've helped investors buy a 14-unit apartment building this way. So think of investors, who have maybe 20% down, but they're a 600 credit score. That's a no. The banks are going to say no way, right? Or you've got an investor who has 15% down and a 750 credit score. That's still a no, right? Or it could be a no. So anything that's a no, guys, you're not getting paid on and you're not helping them, right? It's a lose-lose. So that's something we can take a look at on all
Hold
of
on.
those scenarios as well.
Perfect. Any other questions before we wrap up? All
All right,
right.
guys. Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate the opportunity to meet you all and to help. And yeah, anything we can do, just reach out.
Thanks so much, guys.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, you all. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll be posting this as well in the Minnesota Movement and a few other groups. And Jesse, I'll have Carrie get you the recording as well.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Angie. Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
all. Have a
Yep.
great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.